Hello, this is Black Country Blokes chewing the fat.
Listen.
I've been hearing a lot lately about men don't talk, but in my experience, men do talk, just people aren't listening. So it's going to be me and a group of blokes discussing our struggles and victories through life. Warning, there may be some bad language, so apologies to all the moms, especially my own. Let's get going.
Listen.
Abby now. This is Black Country Blokes chewing the fat. With me, Kev Dillon, Craig Pinches, Lee Cadman, Aaron Dew, and today we've got a very special guest, Dan Browning. Now I've known Dan for about 15, 17 years. Funny enough, we met down the pub where most blokes talk and discuss things. And at the time you were serving in Iraq, was you?
Afghanistan.
Yeah.
How long was you in there for, bro?
10 years in the British Army, 3 tours of Afghanistan. A few other little fruity places along the way and all.
And how was the services first?
Yeah, it was alright. I enjoyed it. I joined when I was 16. And so at a young age, didn't really know no different. And then done my tours and then kind of left. Went back out to Iraq and Afghanistan as a civilian, doing the bodyguarding stuff and things like that. And then started to struggle and realised I was having a little bit of a problem. It started, I think it's like most blokes, when you realise you're struggling, you push back on it, don't you? And like mine was loads of drinking and fighting and being horrible to people and not kind of admitting I had a problem. And you try and push it. What I've done is push the closest people near me away, thinking if I hurt them, they wouldn't come near me, you know what I mean? I went on a bit of a self-destruct, really.
And what was the culprit of it, do you think?
Definitely Afghanistan. I've got PTSD, and I think I was talking about this yesterday somewhere else. I think I'll always have PTSD, and I don't think it's one of them things you'll ever get rid of. Like, I wake up now and then covered in sweat, out of breath, like I've just been shot at, and I don't think you'll ever get rid of it. It's just the way you kind of deal with it day to day, and try and not let it conquer you. And yeah, just a battle against it every day, really. Try and better it.
And how many years ago have you been suffering with this?
Probably about 5 years now. I've been suffering for about 5 years with PTSD, properly. And it's probably been the last 12 months I've kind of got a grip of it and made myself a better person, to more like the old me, rather than the person I didn't want to be. So yeah, I've kind of got a cap on it at the moment a bit. I still have my downfalls. I was just saying before we started, last 2 weeks I've only worked 4 or 5 days just because I was struggling to get out of bed and doing that BBC thing that was on the panorama thing about Afghanistan, that kicked it off again and stuff like that. And it's just little things now and then, it just bring it flooding back. So I have my good days, I have good months, and I have a good 6 months, and then all of a sudden drop back again into old habits, and it's kind of picking yourself up again.
Like depression, as you say, I always call it the dark room.
Yeah.
You go into a dark room, and the longer you're in there, harder it is to get out of there. You need that loved one to call you back to the door handle.
Yeah.
Because if you're in there on your own, behind the dark door is a dark maze. And before you know it, you're lost in the madness.
Yeah.
And sometimes, as you say, like sometimes so hard, just put your fucking socks on in the morning to brush your teeth. But it can be all or nothing, or sometimes you're having a great day, a great week, great month, and then that panorama will come on and you're back to that very dark, lonely place.
Yeah. And it's, for me, I'm quite lucky at the moment with the support network I've got around me. And I've got really good friends, and my partner, she's brilliant. So they really understand, you know what I mean? And my best mate, Stu, he's another one who works with Tough Enough. He drags me out of it. He literally tells me to get out of the house. I didn't leave the house for 3 days last week, and he literally said, "Get the fuck out of the house." And it was like kind of the kicking it up the arse I needed, really. You go, yeah, all right. I had no reason to leave the house, but you know, the longer you're in there, the harder it gets to go out.
Well, when I've worked with like Mind and other organisations, and you talk to these blokes our age, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, the only people he sees is his drug dealer and the bloke who's dropping his takeaways off. That is his only form. And that's it. But you touched on something then, I was going to come into that in a bit. What's the organisation that's...
It's Tough Enough to Care. Stu, my best mate, he founded it. He lost 2 friends in 1 week through suicide, and one of the friends was a friend of mine. Both military people, didn't know each other, different parts of the country, and took their lives in 1 week. I didn't know the one person, but the other person I was quite close to. And it kind of affected us. And we was at a funeral, and again, lads being lads having a beer, and he just said, joking around, we need to fucking sort this out. And he was like, we need to try and kick the stigma for blokes to talk. And that was it. And about 2-3 days later, he put something on Facebook saying, I'm thinking about setting this organisation up. So I texted him saying, I'll help you. And he said, you was in from the fucking start anyway. So I don't think I had no choice anyway if I was going to help in this or not. But we've just hit 26,000 people following us on Facebook.
And could you tell us about it, please?
Yeah, so it's for men, predominantly. It's called Tough Enough to Care. And within that, we're more of a clearinghouse, like we like to say. So when blokes come struggling, they message the page or talk to me and Stu. We get a bit of details off them, and then we try and signpost them to the best place they can get the help. Because I think at the moment there's lots of charities, lots of people doing good work, they just ain't getting signposted to the right things. So if you've got depression, for the groups for depression, or the right people to go and see, anxiety, OCD, there's that many different forms of mental health. It's unbelievable, and I didn't realise till I got into it and started with Tough Enough to Care how many different things there are. It is so many, like I said, like depression, anxiety, PTSD, OCD. That's just 4 things, which topics are massive, and they've got like splinter ones off that, and it's huge, absolutely huge. So that's what we try and do, really. Get people and signpost them to get the right help, rather than them go to 3 or 4 different agencies and they're struggling.
What happens is you keep knocking on the door and no one answers. You knock on the door and eventually you think, fuck this, I'll do this on my own. And unfortunately you either deal with it by booze, drugs, or you do something like suicide and there's no coming back from it.
And I only lost a friend 8 weeks ago through suicide.
It's terrible, isn't
it? He was a fireman, ex-military, and he's got a wife, the kids, the car, the house. Trains his kids Sunday league football team. No money problems. When he goes and completes suicide. Don't like the word committing suicide because they complete it. You know what I mean? They've done it for a reason. But he completed suicide. And someone like that, you from the outside are looking in at everything. And if he would have talked to someone, it might have stopped it. And it's that culture, that man up, and it's another word I hate really, is that man up phase. I'm struggling, man the fuck up. And we've all had it, haven't we?
Oh,
again, I have. I've been that ignorant in the past. I've said it, and I've known when I'm saying it, and I've been struggling myself. You know when you don't want to admit it. You said some fucking man up. And it's the worst thing. It can kill people. It literally can kill people. It's like you're in the construction industry, boxing. Sorry, I don't know.
Property as well.
Property.
Disability.
So we're all like men jobs. And how many blokes have you seen struggling? And you think, oh, fucking hell, I should really talk to him. But out of pride and just stupidity, you don't.
It's like what you said just before we started recording. I thought that was a really good point when you just chatted to me and Craig about when you had that first meeting when everyone came, and you says, do you ever get that moment where you randomly just feel emotional from nowhere? And as you said it straight away, I knew what you were on about, because I get it. So sometimes I watch something or I hear something, and I'm about to talk to the missus, and it's like I've got a frog in my throat, and my balls have dropped all of a sudden. And I'm like, I'm getting emotional there. She's looking at me like, you're right. And I'm like, yeah, I'm alright, kind of thing. But just you saying that, and obviously you said it in front of people, I think if we can just say that straight away, people are like, I've had that feeling.
But it's not.
But it was never normal. Well, I can say normal. It was never like normal thing for us to say that 10 years ago, 5 years ago, because it would be like, you're a pussy, you're a sissy.
I'd say even 2 years ago. I think the stigma of mental health has been broken down that much within 2 years. And it is the thing now, people realise it's the biggest killer for blokes under 45. You know what I mean? And if things are killing that many people, a disease, people would stop it. Like it's like Ebola or whatever. People would be trying to stop it.
We as a people, won't stop cancer.
No.
But we can stop this epidemic
Yeah,
now.
and this is bigger than cancer. Mental health is bigger than cancer. It kills more people than cancer.
I think like with the generational things, I mean, I can't imagine my granddads, they both passed away in the 90s, but can't imagine them sitting and talking like this, because they were Black Country and they were proper.
I think they probably did, but they did it
After
in
10
a pub
points.
After 10 points. Yeah, it was
And
kind
a
of.
cry, had a fight to each other.
it was just-
Yeah.
But now they're not going to mention it the next morning, are they?
Oh, no, that would be it.
But that's why we've touched on this many shows.
The
This is
Belfast
why.
thing.
This is why people have the 10 points,
Yeah.
the bag of Charlie, the 8 for weed,
Yeah.
because acid, smack, crack, all these different things are hiding the same problems.
Yeah.
I can say something when I'm off my nut that I wouldn't dream of saying. You go,
Yeah.
bloody hell, Dan, you go, I was smashed last night.
Yeah.
But all you really want to do is go, I'm fucking hurting, bruv.
Yeah,
Or-
struggling like.
I'm struggling.
It's funny you should say that, because I've just been telling you until I've had a couple of weeks of putting myself through it again. You know what I mean? I have cycles myself, and it's been a low cycle. And I actually said to my partner, you know what? I can fucking see why people turn to drugs. I actually said that to her, and I thought,
Because
I
release,
can.
isn't it?
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I mean?
what it is,
I used
yeah.
alcohol in just literally abusing women and all. Just
Yeah.
I was a young squaddy, loads of money in my pocket, good looking lad, and I know I could bed up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was, looking back at it, just trying to
Yeah.
find a bit of love, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And someone to have a bit of, it sounds a bit like gay,
Yeah.
but a bit of a cuddle with,
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I mean? So,
You need it. Everyone needs it, don't they? I mean, it's like I know people going through things now, and on the face of it, like one guy in particular, he's an arsehole. On the face of it, he's an arsehole, drinking, gambling, and the way he's treating his family and that. And I try and take a step back and say to my partner, he's going through a cycle. Obviously, he's going through it, and Damie's his release valve. You know, there's an Only Fools and Horses, where I think it was Uncle Albert, it was when Grandad died, and Rodney was on about Del Boy doing something or other, and Uncle Albert said that, you know, it's like on a big vessel, they have to have release valves, otherwise the pressure builds up and builds up and builds up, and then you're going to explode. So you have to find them outlets, whether it's drink or drugs or talking, or which
On
we're
the
trying
bed,
to
yeah.
push more towards, to try and cope with it.
On the bed of fire, that's why when you're at breaking point, you hit somebody,
Yeah.
or you have the affair, or it's because something's built up that much, and instead of just addressing it, going, you know what, I'm in a bad place, or darling, you're not treating me nice. So you have the affair. You break it before it breaks you, kind of thing.
It's
Or
almost
if you
easier
break-
to do drugs, isn't it, than talk to people?
Well, you'll break it before you lose it.
Your inhibitions
You'll
lower
throw it
as well.
away.
You know, when you're already through the mill and you already feel like you're in Satan's pocket, your inhibitions lower, and then your threshold for what becomes exactly, it lowers. So that's the way I see that as well. So then you ain't ashamed to do that. Ordinarily you'd be ashamed to do that, but you feel fuck it.
your line,
I'm living
always-
down there anyway.
yeah, your line disappears, don't it?
I'm in the gutter anyway.
You don't know where to step over a line is anymore. It just becomes normal, don't it?
Exactly.
Well, normal's a funny old fucker in it.
Yeah,
Because-
there's no normal, is there?
But we compare ourselves to what we believe
Yeah.
normal should be. Is it normal I'm having a belly full? Is it normal that 5 lads are sitting around here? It's only normal if we allow it to be.
Yeah.
It's only normal if we make it possible.
Yeah.
But what we do is we go, I shouldn't feel like this.
Yeah.
And I'm telling everyone who's listening to this now, there ain't a man on God's green earth who hasn't felt down.
No.
And anyone who pretends he is this almighty positive is plastic and he's trying to sell you something. We all have the highs and we all have the lows, but that's what makes it so interesting.
Yeah. And like back onto the generational thing, I couldn't see my dad's similar age to yours, Kev, and I'm good friends with your dad and all. I couldn't imagine our fathers sitting down here doing this.
No.
You know what I mean? And I do think it's like our generation, 30s into the 20s now, who is breaking down the stigma of mental health. But my dad, he's an ex-war Marine, my dad is, and all. I'm from a military family. And my dad started to open up to me now. Now he knows I'm doing this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's took, my dad's 71, my dad is. And he's an hard man, like when I was growing up I can always remember him. he was an hard bastard.
Built to last,
Yeah, he was a nasty man. I mean, it's now he's opened up to me at 71, so he knows I'm doing this mental health stuff. And I think we are breaking down the stigma to other generations and all. Knowing it's not acceptable.
Was it as, I don't know the stats for this, was it as bad in terms of like suicide back in the day though?
I don't know.
Do you think it's more because, or maybe we can see on the end of our fingertips on our phone that we're seeing so much bad things that people like yourself and people like Kev, when he thought of this podcast, was thinking actually we need to make a stand here.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, like you're known as a boxing coach. It's a very bravado sport. If you can just change people's perception here, and obviously yourself coming from the military as well, maybe that's why. I don't know.
I think back in the early days, I know a lot of suicides never used to get recorded. There used to be like his accidents and stuff like that because insurance companies never used to pay out.
And the shame of the family.
And the shame of the families and stuff like that. So it used to be like, if you look at it, a lot of stuff, I don't think the stats will be much higher if you look at them. When if you look at the stats like misadventure and accidents, I think they'd be a lot higher. You know what I mean?
Someone crashed into a tree ages ago.
Yeah, he was drunk and crashed into a tree.
Yeah.
I think
He
like,
fell down the stairs.
Yeah, or he fell off the side of a building or misadventure rather than suicide. So I think the stats probably look very similar, and I really try and stop away from stats because the reason is I'll trip myself up. My brain don't work. I've been punching the head too many times to
Singing to the choir here.
Yeah, to remember facts and figures. You know what I mean? So I trip myself up. So I try and steer clear from them. But I reckon if you looked at it, they'd roughly be about the same. But if you look at the misadventure and the accidental deaths, I think there'd be a lot more. Like.
I think another thing, like, to speculate as well, is the way the generation is in the last 20 years, how offended by absolutely everything and offended by this and boom, boom, boom. That in turn can create mental health because what you were once hardened to as, you know what I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Now you take offence to it and it causes undue stress and then you pass it on and pass it on and pass. And we're overly sensitive to things now, albeit whatever.
I think some
Is
people.
that true though, or is that we now get more information through things
Yeah.
like
Misinformation.
Misinformation.
That's-
so you're constantly told now that you're not good enough, or not this, or not that.
And
or
you
you've
are
got to
sensitive.
buy this product because you need this because it does this and does that.
And you will stop eating meat because the planet is, you know what I mean?
That's what I mean. So you're told it more. So
It's a
actually,
lot of-
you're more sensitive, or you just
I've
at the end of being.
I've heard of young kids having like anxiety and stuff like that, and depression. And I was thinking about this the other day when I was a kid at school at like 8, 9. I can never remember feeling like anxious or kind of depressed. I can remember thinking I don't want to go to school. You know what I mean?
I don't want to do that test.
I think that's.
But is that people getting educated more now to realise?
I think what that is, you know, I've lived on my nerves all my life. If I've got to jump in there and have a spot, I'm nervous. If I've got to do an exam, I'm nervous. But people are using the word anxiety when they mean nerves. Because
especially
as
kids.
Anxiety is crippling, isn't it?
Yeah,
You know, that's anxiety. It's like, I'm gonna have a stroke.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
gonna
like panic attack.
So
It's horrible.
I think the word itself is being overused and diluted to the poor buggers who have got it.
Yeah, and I do think education, with the education to educate people to what is anxiety, what is depression.
They are different.
Yeah, and I think that's where we need to target people, more of the youth and stuff like that, and our generation really.
Yeah.
To what is depression, what is anxiety.
I'm feeling down or I am depressed.
Yeah.
And that there is a big difference. Like, fucking hell, didn't win the lottery again. I'm a bit down. To that place we run about, put my socks on in the morning. I can't be off to have a wash because why is the purpose of going outside?
Yeah, if I'm not going outside, I don't need to wash. If I'm not going outside, I don't need to brush my teeth. Might as well just stop in my pants, sort of wore to bed last night and turn the TV on.
That's depression.
You know what I mean?
I have some lyrics actually say that in one of my things. I'll try and think of them and say it, but like, I think it's important to note that miseducation is twice as powerful as education.
Yeah.
You know, spreading the wrong or convincing your kid that you're depressed or you're anxious. That will go a lot further than telling him you're just nervous. I mean, I was picked on through primary school. I was anxious to go. They have crippling anxieties or depressed. I was scared fucking shitless. I was scared to go to primary school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And nowadays you'd be like, he's depressed about school. He's got anxiety.
People are quick to put a title on stuff now.
On a title.
Label it.
Look, if someone, if they take, they say, Kev, I've got bad odds. If I take my classes off, I'm blind. I go, no. You got bad eyes.
Yeah.
You know, and it's that throwaway comment that people use.
Look, it's like with ADHD.
ADHD,
That's a massive one.
That's one.
I'm going to slag no one off who's got ADHD and stuff like that. But I was just a naughty kid at school.
Some kids are
Like,
naughty.
I was a naughty kid.
Hyperactive.
Yeah, I was
uninterested.
hyperactive. Like I said, I was hyperactive and I was naughty. I used to box at Worcester in the AVAs and Worcester and different stuff like that. And I was an hyperactive kid, and when I was at school, I'd rather be fishing or boxing.
Yeah.
And I'd play up to go fishing and boxing.
Yeah.
You know, and I knew how to play the system as a kid.
Yeah.
It wasn't because I had ADHD.
Yeah.
It was just because I was a naughty kid. You know what I
The
mean?
thing is, like, I mean, it's attention deficit
Disorder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that tells you. I mean, today there's so many kids being labelled with that because of these devices. Because attention deficit means they require more attention. Am I wrong or
Yeah.
right in saying that? So if the mum's on the fucking phone scrolling Facebook all day and I'm in the corner doing, of course you can label them as ADD because then them crying out for more attention.
Crying out for attention.
I
Aren't
mean, my son, my youngest, he'll be 2 in a couple of weeks. He's a ball of energy. Mate, I was saying to someone the other day, I was on about ADD and ADHD and I said, he has the potential, if we wanted to take him to the doctors and push for that label. But the fact that me and his mum spend a lot of time with him and, you know,
Playing.
exactly. I mean, he's bouncing off walls. He'll stand on the settee and roll backwards. Like, he's a nutter. Like, if we've got a step ladder up, because
That's what I was like as a kid, 100% like.
Yeah.
Like, there's a roof over there, watch me jump off it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was one of them.
that's where he's like, if I've got a step ladder up, I turn round, you know, he's at the top and he's just smiling everything.
Yeah.
Now,
Being a kid.
I could push for. Troy was completely different, laid back. I could go to the doctor and say, he's got ADHD, he's got ADHD, he's got ADHD, and get them to label him now and think, yes, but why would I want to label my kid?
Yeah.
He's got his own character and personality, and he's bubbly. And
Look, I don't like the label on PTSD and stuff. Like, I just struggle. You know what I mean? But I know why I struggle is because of the trauma I went through out in theatre. But yeah, I don't like me being labelled with PTSD because it is a label. You know what I mean? I just struggle. Some days, like we said, we're up. Some days I'm down. And it can go literally from some days from having anxiety to depression, to just feeling shit. You know what I mean? For me, that don't kind of come under PTSD. It's just mental health. You know what I mean?
And that's the trouble. When they label you, you're sort of pigeonholed into just those symptoms, and you know what I mean. And then I always like that. So how can you?
Like at the moment, like for me, you got mental health. That's when you're up, really.
Yeah.
That's when you're laughing, you're bubbling. It's mental ill health. That's the way I try and think of it. And like when I'm mental health, I'm feeling good. It's my mental ill health is when I'm feeling shit. You know what I mean? I'm feeling low. And I wouldn't like to put a label on it. Some shrinks have. They give me a big stamp saying PTSD. But for me, it's like I said, some days I'm anxious to go out the house and do stuff, or I'm depressed, I'm sad, or I just feel like shitty, you know what I mean? And I don't think there is labels for mental health, really. You can have it all rolled into one, and some days you're up, some days you're down.
I've got a good friend who specialises in PTSD, Nick Davies, called the Blast Technique.
Yeah.
I'll give you his phone number after this and see if you want to see him. He's a good friend of mine. He's been on the show, you've all met him.
Yeah.
But he's what he specialises in. He's on Facebook as well. Yeah. But I'll give you maybe one of your meetings. We might come down and talk.
Yeah.
But there are help out there, and I think sometimes we try one thing, it doesn't work, and then we turn our back on it. And it's a lot like life, isn't it? If one boxing gym doesn't work for you, don't turn your back on boxing. Yeah. There's many other trainers, many other techniques. Yeah. If you lose your first 10 bouts, it doesn't matter. No. Stick with the game and you'll get the results.
And I think that's it. There is always light at the end of the tunnel. Isn't there? You know what I mean?
It's hard to see it sometimes.
Yeah, I've been in my darkest days and thinking, fuck, there's no way out of this. You know what I mean? But there is. There is. Again, you push the closest people away to you, but you don't need to. There is always people out there. There's always different agencies out there to speak to. You know, even to come down here, put a set of gloves on, and just batter a bag. And you know what I mean. Some days, that's one of my only releases. That was, I'd go to the gym and not talk to anyone in the gym, and I'd go in, beat up a bag for an hour, and go home. But I've had my release from doing that. And different, like sports for me is massive. You couldn't tell at the moment because I'm a little bit fat, but I've done my knees and my shoulder at the moment. But it's for me playing rugby and boxing and stuff like that was massive, and that was my release, especially rugby. I'd have 80 minutes to try and kill somebody else on the pitch and batter them and have to go for a beer and not chill. So I could take all my aggression out in 80 minutes and just run the balls off and try and get it all out of me, you know what I mean? And then half the time I'd get battered.
That's why I love having people like yourself on, showing depression hits even the biggest and toughest blood. Yeah. It's not just because I was a little kid getting bullied, it wasn't just because I lost my, it can be anything that can catalyse it, and it doesn't matter if you're Tyson Fury, or whether you're Prince Nazim, or whether you're whoever, it's a bastard that can get us all.
Yeah.
There are ways out of it.
It's like we're on about Tyson Fury, and I'm not a fan of him just because he's boxing. I don't rate him. But that's a different argument. But he is an absolutely amazing advocate for mental health. And I can't take it away. He's done a video yesterday. I don't know if
I think I put it on Facebook.
And
made the guy going for a run.
Yeah. The bloke went around to kill himself, and I just wanted to speak to him. It's probably his thing to do before he killed himself. Yeah. The bloke took a bloke for a 3 mile run. Yeah. I'll probably kill myself after a 3 mile run. I'm drawing it. No, but what an amazing guy. You know what I mean? As much as people slate him and for different things, like he's been such an advocate for mental health. And Ricky Hatton's done a few different things. And there's more celebrities now and pro sportsmen who's coming out now and saying I've struggled or I did struggle in my career and stuff like that. And I think there's a footballer recently who's just took a sabbatical for 12 months. I think a quite famous footballer. I'm not really into football, but there's a footballer who's just took a sabbatical for his mental health. So you know what I mean? It's more publicised. The normal people to talk about it.
But if you can't go knock on Tyson Fury's door, then you can pop up the club, talk to me or my lads, or now they can come. What's your name? Your thing again.
So if you go onto Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and just put in "tough enough to care," we'll be the ones who pop up.
Tough enough to care.
You've got like a bicep. Kill is our logo. Yeah. You go on there, and if
we'll put the poster on our thing as well.
If anyone's ever struggling, just go on there, hit us up. We've got about 5-6 moderators, about the same as yourselves. Yeah. About 6 of us who watch our Facebook. In between my sleep patterns, Stu's and Mark's,
there'll always be some.
Yeah, we're always pretty much. All 3 of us struggle with different demons.
Unless you're more drinking Saturday night and Sunday morning.
Yeah, but that's another thing. It's kind of took over our lives. So me and Stu are good mates, and we don't really socialise with each other anymore. And I think our wives and all that think we do. So we go, we're going to a meeting at Tough Enough, or we got a fundraiser on, like, really, fundraiser? You're like, no, honestly, but...
I'll book you an Uber, shall I?
Yeah, it's one of them, like, but it's not anymore. It's turned into, I was going to say it, more of a job, you know what I mean? We've got our day jobs, he's an engineer and I'm a paint sprayer, but...
Has that helped you with your mental health doing it?
Definitely, and it helps me helping other people. Yeah. Then I think...
There's no better feeling than that.
Yeah, and I think the reason is, it kind of takes the light off me, and I don't have time
to
worry about myself.
And it cleans your soul while you do
it. I've done so many bad things, like Kev said, it cleans my soul. I've done that many bad things in the past. I've got some making up to do now. You know what I mean?
We're talking about it's not like My Name is Earl, where I've got to go write a list and write all those wrongs. I've fucked up and I've hurt people and I've been a naughty person. However, what I'm doing now at this moment, what I do every night up here, that's washing my sins away. You know what I mean? I can't apologise to everyone I've ever wronged. But as long as I can make the next generation, the next person I meet life better, then I think that's washing my soul.
Yeah, for me, I want to be like when somebody walks up to us in 5, 10, 15 years time, whenever, and say, "You saved my life." You know what I mean? Someone I don't know, some we've been doing on social media or our meetings or something, and someone comes up and says, "You saved my life." In someone we don't know, like we went to an attempted suicide a couple of weeks ago, and it was probably the hardest thing I've ever had to do. Without going into too much details and stuff like that, it was a friend of mine from the military, And I went up and we sorted it, and the police come and the ambulance come to take him away. And as he sat in the back of the ambulance, and he literally looked at me like I was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And he just said, like, why? I just wanted to end it. And I literally felt about that big, like, God's honest, felt like a piece of shit. And then he went away, and about 4 or 5 days later, he come out of hospital and had a phone call, and it was him. And he says, Dan, like, thanks.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm going to housing, I'm going to the benefits, like, I want to change my life and turn it around. And I've been seeing him on Facebook, he's back in the gym training and doing stuff like that. And this is to the point where this lad had a rope in the woods, you know what I mean? So it weren't him, it weren't a cry for help. Yeah, I caught him on a different situation just before he went to go and do it, but yeah, there was a rope in the woods. So he had been gone, and it would have been another statistic.
You haven't just saved his life, you've saved the person who found him mental health.
Yeah.
You've saved his
family,
mum, his
yeah.
dad, his brother, his mate down the pub.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with suicide, it's your way out.
Yeah.
But those who are left behind, they have to carry that burden for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, I don't think it's selfish committing suicide.
No.
Because
but it's the people around
yeah,
you.
it does affect so many people, because it's not selfish, because it's the only way that person can see out of it.
He
And
can
it must
see
take
out
some
of it.
bollocks.
Yeah.
Like, to
100%.
complete suicide, it must take some bollocks.
But you've also got to think about, that's your way out.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm not discrediting anyone who's done it, or hasn't, but that's in your mind.
But there's
like,
no answers out there.
There are
if you're in
answers.
debt, like we were saying earlier, if you're in debt, if you've got drug, alcohol problems, there's people and different organisations out there what will help you.
Yeah.
If there's people help you with your debts, people help you with your alcohol addiction, people help you with drugs addiction. You don't need to complete suicide. Then all of a sudden, that's it, you're done. You leave, like
Everyone
you
else
said, you leave
behind.
people behind. And
You
there's
always
alcohol.
question, could they have stopped it?
Yeah,
And I think though, like, because, you know, a lot of, you know, I've had them kind of thoughts. I was speaking to you earlier. I've had them kind of thoughts myself, and I've got beautiful boys, I've got a family, I've got, as you say, the car and this and the other. Do you think, now there's no, I see no trigger really for me. So, like, what help is that if there's no trigger, if you just go through the cycles?
I think talking.
Yeah.
Like, God's honest, like, in that support group yesterday, there's blokes who've never talked about their mental health who opened up yesterday, and they was saying, there was someone there who went, don't really know why I'm here. And when he went, I feel shit sometimes, I do this and do that. And he was like, all he needed was to start talking. And I think sometimes that's what just blokes need, to vent. You know what I mean? Women do it naturally. Yeah. Like, you see them down the hairdressers, you see them at mothers' meetings, on the phone constantly to their best mates, texting each other in WhatsApp groups. Bloke, my WhatsApp groups are horrible. Like, there's no talk about mental health in these WhatsApp groups at all.
Normally just videos of crashes.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I think as blokes, we don't do it. And I think, like you said, I think to stop feeling down sometimes and just a bit shit, is just talk to someone and say, you alright, mate? You know what I mean? It's always asking that second question, because it's easy to brush it off, isn't it?
Can I ask you a bit more about the meetings you do? Because I've not been to any kind of meeting where there's more than me and...
So we all sit down, hold hands.
Well, this is
No.
This is it. I want to try to, for the people listening, I want to try you to explain, because I imagine what you see on films, those AA meetings...
All tapping each other on the back and...
My name's me and I've got...
No, not at all. Yeah. So, it was our first one yesterday, and like I said, we're no experts, there's a couple of area house rugby players and boxers just trying to make the world a little bit of a better place. And what we've done, we've got this big room, we're about the same size as the gym, and we had 26 people turned up. And,
which is a great number for a start.
Yeah, for the first ever one. Yeah. And we sat down, introduced what we do. I kind of sat down, I struggled a bit. Mark, one of the other organisers, he talked about it. And we said, anybody else want to have a chat? And we've got a rugby ball we have. So it's, you leave your egos at the door.
Yeah.
It's a safe place. It's a safe, I know people say it a lot, but it's a safe place.
Yeah.
So what gets talked about in the room, don't go out the room.
Yeah.
And we do a thumbs up and a thumbs down situation. So if any topics kind of affects anyone, if you go out the room, Like, because we're all grown up, we do teas, coffees, drinks, and if you want to nip out for a fag, you can do. So it's all like, it's not the classroom setting. So if someone's just going for a piss, say, they walk out the room, but if it's affected them, they do like thumbs down.
Yeah.
And like me or Stu or Mark will go out and have a chat with them. If they're alright, we'll stick your thumb up, you know what I mean? Or just give a nod as you go outside. And lads open up and talk about what their struggles are, and I think it is literally not to know you're alone. There's people there yesterday who didn't want to talk, and they come up to me after and said, it was nice knowing I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I said it yesterday, I'm not the only person struggling, and it's nice to know I'm not the only person struggling, because some days you think of it, don't you? I know I have, thinking, the wheel's on your shoulders, I'm the only one going through this, I can't talk to no one. So that's what the group's about, really.
One of our first guests, Andy Plant, he was sexually abused and groomed as a child, and he carried that for 28 years, and then found Black Country Women's Aid, and it's the same, it's that shame, I'm the only person this has ever happened to, and he does meetings like you, and they talk, and I think that's the greatest thing we can do.
Yeah,
He's just going, so you're telling me I'm not the only person who's fallen on top of himself, I'm not the only person who's ever fallen, because we've all had them suicidal, horrible thoughts, and you're thinking, and then it's the reason why, when I've thought about those horrible thoughts about top of myself, and it's the thought he'd have on my family, and that's the reason why it would always leave my mind.
Yeah.
But we're all different. But by doing what we're doing now, what you're doing, what Andy Plant's doing, and these different organisations, whether you've been abused, whether you've got PTSD, whether there's an organisation out there, and nowadays it's at the click of your fingers. You can type and say, I've got mental health, I've got meningitis, I've got whatever it is. Something will come up. Something will come up. It's not, as we were saying about our dad's ages, or 2 years ago, 10 years ago, where you literally go, what do I do? Go to the fucking library, or go into a phone box and look through things, and mate, it's all prostitutes.
I was about to say, the only phone boxes you had in Kevin's house.
I need mental health. Oh, one minute.
There you can help.
Clears me head.
I think it's important to just rewind back to when you said we're no experts. You know what I mean? Like, I feel credit where credit's due there, and I feel you and your friends, by the sound of it, have got the best credentials and qualifications to consider yourself a de facto expert, if you will. You know what I mean? I'd much rather come to you than go and listen to a textbook remedy. You know what I mean? So, you know, I commend you guys for that. So
thanks very much.
I know how you say I'm no expert, because we all have a way of saying that, because we've got no paperwork to prove it, but you've got experience.
Yeah, there's a couple of lads who've done their mental health first aid training in the group. I need to do mine.
That sounds really good. I'd like to.
Yeah, so I can link you up with all this. We've just had a new member of the group started on yesterday, actually, officially. But he's been working behind the scenes with us. He's a health and safety guru. And like, mate, he's a ninja. And like, paperwork-wise, the bloke's a genius, like Kevin Evan. And but he's a mental health first aid instructor. So we're getting there slowly. We are, and we're building a team up and the right people who want to be part of it. Not rather, because it's bad to say mental health is trendy at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you look on TV, you hear it on the radio, it's a trendy thing, and people kind of
use it as a buzzword.
Just when in the bed,
people use it as a buzzword.
They'll say, I'm wearing a wristband, this helps mental health. I'm wearing a t-shirt, you're thinking, that don't fucking help no one.
Like, we've got wristbands, and it is literally for that reason, because we've noticed when we do a fundraiser or stuff like that, people are buying for £2. I'm supporting mental health. You know what I mean? And they're not for them. People do feel good about it. You know what I mean? I ain't going to slag anyone who buys our wristbands. Please buy them.
Nice plug. Very smooth.
But it's you do get it. You know what I mean?
But it should be, instead of like paying that £2, go and sit to your neighbour.
Go to ask someone. I'd rather someone instead of giving us £2. Ask your
Time's
friend.
worth more than that money.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
100%.
If you spend 15 minutes or 10 minutes of your day present with someone, that means a hell of a lot more.
I think that's part of why you started this is because like you got your Furies and you got your celebrities and you got the buzzword folk, and it's hard for people to relate to people who've got millions and billions in the bank, whereas average Joes, I'll call us loosely, you know what I mean? they can say, well, fuck me, they live my life, they live up the road from me.
Yeah,
So
it's like,
they can relate.
if me and you don't go to work for 2 weeks,
Well, yeah,
we're
we couldn't
struggling,
take a
aren't
year
we?
off work.
You know what I mean? We're struggling, aren't we? After 2 weeks, we're
Yeah.
thinking, oh shit, I need to get back to work now.
If they don't,
Yeah.
they've still got interest on the three and a half hundred
They've
million
still
that
got
they've
problems, but it's not our
Oh,
relatable
yeah.
problems.
It's like when you were saying to me, self-employed, in like to have 2-3 weeks off because I'm
Yeah.
struggling. Oh, I'd love to, you know what I mean? When I'm feeling down, just think I'm going to
Of
get away from
course.
But
everything.
in some sense, it's good that you have got that because you know you've got to get up and you've got to get it.
Yeah, I think
You're
that's the
running,
thing.
You're running out of
But
money.
they-
You're running.
Pressure's good in any in the right form.
Yeah.
But when you're feeling shit and then you think, fuck, I've got to go to work, that pressure's bad for you. Or when you have the time off because you're feeling shit and then the money, that pressure's bad for
Don't
you.
you feel like when you're feeling crap and all, everything goes wrong?
Yeah.
Like,
You stump your
Yeah.
toe,
Yeah.
you get a bit of toothpaste in your eye.
I'm sorry, it's just, I left
Flick the
work.
brushes.
I left work. I knew I was in a rush. I left work. My car went into limp mode. I was like, for fuck's sake. So I managed to drive from Redditch to Bromsgrove. Thought I'd grab a chippy on the way home. I live in literally the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And so I went and grabbed this chippy. Thought, I'll have a battered sausage on the way home. That'd cheer me up. While I'm waiting for my kebab and my chips, literally had one bite of it and it fell on the floor. In my car, it's filthy. And I was like, for fuck's sake. You know what I mean? You know when you just feel...
Yeah. The
There's one
universe is out
in
for
that,
me.
yeah, in that area, I nearly rang you up and went, I ain't coming.
And then
You know what I mean?
then every red light, then a fucking tractor, then
Yeah.
a more red light, then
Oh, you know, I nearly rang Kev up when I dropped my sausage thought, fuck, that's just really slapped me. You know what I mean? It was just like a simple thing like that. I just went,
Really funny. If you're in a good place, dropping your battered sausage.
It's
Just,
funny.
yeah, when you're on that bad day,
yeah.
as I say,
I
about
don't know,
what did you
dropping
say?
the battered
Doesn't it?
sausage on the pissed off.
I dropped my sausage on the phone, Kev.
Kev told us,
Bad day, what's the matter, mate? You fucking sausage on the phone. Please.
I ain't coming.
But what were you saying earlier about the vowel? That
Yeah.
vowel, but that's the same thing, isn't it? Something that wouldn't normally bother you, but you do something, you stump your toe, and
Yeah.
that confirms that you're cursed. That confirms that the universe is out to get you. Whereas it's just.
The bucket's full
Your-
and you've dropped
yeah.
your sausage.
Your like attitude in that acts kind of as like a stimulant to your surroundings. So like you say, you drop your battered sausage, you're in a good mood, you're laughed off by another. In a shit mood, boom, it stimulates the negative.
Yeah.
Tables going up in the air.
So
you're
you're
walking off.
within you, there's sort of like a stimulant to whatever, you know.
This is what we were saying just before we started here. So what I was saying is, when we're in that funk, which we've all been in that funk, it's very difficult to see the way out or to see what we need to do. So one of the things that I think might be useful is if, how we touched on it, the stuff that you mentioned earlier, the exercising, the talking. There's another thing like books. So I read certain books. If we can do those even on our good day, even if it's just 10 or 15 minutes, it will just build that kind of muscle. So then when we have a shit day, we have that tool in the back, or I heard that on a book actually, let me just try and use that now, because normally when you're in a funk, you can't see
I'll
shit.
do podcasts, I'll do. Like you
There
do
you go.
books, I'll do podcasts. So for me, there's that many podcasts. And I'll just, when I'm spraying at work,
Yeah.
you know, I'll put podcasts in my ear. There's so many mental health podcasts out there, from dealing with it to just talking about it. And there's so many different people who's got different aspects of it in different avenues, like how to talk and negotiate around it. And for me, it's knowledge is power in it. I know people say it.
Yeah, but it is.
And I didn't realise, again, until I started this stuff, how many different factors there are, different trigger points, and but coping mechanisms and coping methods. And like you said, for me, books, I'm not a big reader. I don't have the time to read between the military stuff I still do with the reserves and what I do with kickboxing and mental health stuff. I think my missus sees me about one night a week.
Yeah.
So I don't have a time to pick up a book, but podcasts for me is brilliant. You can make a time for a podcast while you're driving.
Instead of listening to
I
the
listen
shit
to
about
books on-
champagne and bitches on
Yeah,
the
and
radio.
Brexit.
You know what I mean? And, oh, fuck me.
You know what I mean? Instead of listening to Brexit on Radio 2 constantly.
Listen to some struggles and strives and the way someone's come out of it.
Yeah.
Like you say, it's like mental and emotional currency. You know what I mean? You don't want to end up having that built at your door, which is the low period, and not having no mental or emotional currency to foot it and pay it straight away. You need to earn.
You got to almost build that muscle. A bit like, say, for instance, boxing. You can do 3 or 4 years. If you're ever confronted in a corner, you could be shitting yourself in a really bad effort. You know how to get out of that corner. So it's kind of equipping yourself.
It's down with it.
I don't know. I've boxed for 20 years and I still can't get out of the corner.
Mate, I can't get off the corner. I'm a self-employed money maker.
That's for another podcast.
Have you seen this movie?
I'm just on there eating like, please.
But yeah, I do think knowledge, and I do like hearing a success story and all. You know, when people like combated it, who said like, I tried to commit suicide, I tried to complete suicide, and I never, like, it failed for some reason, like so they got caught in the act, or they got saved while they were doing it, and they've come out a better person. And I do love a good success story.
I was about to do it and I had a telephone call. And that telephone call stopped me
from
stepping
I
off the
do
stool.
love a good success story and how people can change their lives and how people deal with it. And you get a lot of that through the books and through the podcasts.
You know, sorry to interrupt, but like touching on that, I had a friend who said that he were going to do it. He lost his dad, best friends with his dad, lost his dad quite a few years back. And he had a unit, pretty much like this. And he went in there with a rope until the steel girder and whatever else. He said, and then a robin come and flew and sat on the beam, and he took that as a sign that was his dad, saying, "You fucking dare."
Don't you?
Tough old guy, you know what I mean? And like, from like even now when we're on jobs, especially some of the robins will come, and because we're digging and that, they'll be foraging. And he'll always make a point of getting some kind of food and feeding it and keeping it round as long as possible. And I think, you know what, it's crazy. You have to, sometimes you have that intervention. Who's that speaker that we listened to? One of the speakers. I can't remember his name. It'll come to me in a minute. On YouTube, and he said that we wait as humans for something extreme, whether it's extremely positive or extremely negative, before we take action. You know what I mean? And I can't remember his bloody name.
I like that.
It's one of the motivational speakers we always listen to.
Les Brown or not?
Les Brown. Les Brown.
That's what I need to get amongst that.
Yeah, Les Brown. Good. I mean, if you're into motivational speakers and stuff, Les Brown's one of my favourite. You know, Tony
but that's what we don't want people to have that tragedy though before they.
Exactly.
And this is I always say, don't wait for your like wake up call kind of thing.
To wake up.
One of my friends said, absolutely. Like, listen to other people's adversity stories, and this isn't a shameless plug or anything, but my podcast is the same thing. So I go through mental health stuff or trauma that people have been through, but it's always trying to find out how they've overcame it, so then people know their situation isn't exclusive. So, for example, somebody's been raped. I've had stories of rape, for example. So, somebody's been through the same thing. They know that actually there is a way to get over it. Whether, like you said, PTSD might be a part of your life forever, but you've got coping mechanisms in place. And we try and get the success story from it, that it gives you the tools in order for you to move on with it afterwards. And that's what it's about. But then at the same time, I don't want somebody else who hasn't been raped or been through trauma or lost someone to cancer to have to feel that pain. Just live in gratitude on a daily basis. Look after your body, look after your health, support yourself.
Well, I think a big one.
That's Find Your Voice, by the way.
Which Kev's on, by the way.
I think you lads experience it. We've experienced it already at Tough Enough. As your podcast grows and your following grows, you'll have more people consoling you in like talking about opening up to you. And I think one of the most important things for me, me and Stu do it quite well together. We bounce off each other and we open up to each other a lot about it. And it's looking after your own mental health, because you're going to hear, we do a lot of dark stuff. And again, can't go into much details, but you get to hear different dark things, what's happened to people and what they've been through. And it's hard, like. It is hard. You go away feeling drained, like you've just done 8 rounds, 10 rounds in a ring. And you feel completely knackered, drained, physically and emotionally.
My job, because my daughter's disabled, and I work with disabled children, providing equipment. It's a great link, because I do understand what the parents are going through that I'm there, but it also opens up them to me, if you know what I mean. So they'll tell me a bit more about what's gone on.
You find a common ground.
You do walk out sometimes, and you do take it home with you.
And I think what you've got to do, especially you gents who's doing this, is kind of keep it as work. So what we do at Tough Enough, we kind of think of it as a job, and we leave it at work. And then just me and Stuart talk about it, and Mark, and now we've got Mike on and all, but he's down south, so I don't really talk to Mike much. But Mark and ourselves, we talk through it ourselves, give our own little counselling sessions in between people talking to us, because I think it's quite easy when you're helping people to fall in the trap of all of a sudden you don't realise you're getting burdened with loads of different things.
That happens to me a lot up here because I'm such a caring soul, and Dan will come and tell me some Craig, and then I take it home, and I'm one of them who always figuring out how to help someone. And then sometimes that Kate tells me off because I do take it on. And that's normally when I go into my dark place because I've taken on everyone's shit and I can't do anything to help them.
So your heart often, your heart will repay all the debts, but it's your head that punishes you for it. Because I've always said to my partner, and she knows herself, I've got a good heart, it's my head that's fucked. And that's the way I see it, because my heart knows me, you know what I mean? It's a pure heart, but my head...
I like that saying. I do like that saying.
My heart's pure, but my head's fucked. That's what I always say.
I do like that. But I think you've got to look after, especially doing what you're doing, is look after your own mental health. More.
You've got to be selfish to be selfless. That's what it is. Like, same with like my mum. What I find, at least in my circle, is the people who have ended up with depression were the most selfless people ever. And what they were doing is filling everyone else's cup up, and their cup was just like drying basically.
I think that's what.
And if you could look after yourself, just with a bit of self-love, as however we want to like label that, whether it is going to the gym or
making time for yourself. Always, like,
then you can bring your best.
I've just started another supporter of our lot. He's got a kickboxing gym over in Lyme, and I've got my black belt and stuff like that. And I'm just getting back into the gym now, kickboxing, and that's my little release away from Tough Enough to Care, away from the missus, away from the army. You know what I mean?
This podcast was made to be my release because I'm boxing, family, boxing, tournaments. So we come up with this idea to A, have a bit of counselling for us boys, B, talk to other interesting people like yourself, and
I won't go that far.
but like getting people and listen to stories. But this is a bit of my time where I haven't got to worry. And I say like this because someone said, "Well, how about what? Aren't you nervous? What's the worst that can happen?" Me talking honestly. I'm only talking about myself. I'm talking to other like-minded individuals.
That's the thing, isn't it? You're talking about yourself. You ain't going to go wrong, are you?
No.
You know what I mean? No one can say, he's talking crap.
No one knows you more than you. You know what, I've started lately, after going through like this down period, I've started trying affirmations.
We say things over and over in your head.
Where you keep telling yourself things. I mean, I've looked something the other day, and you'll find confirmation in the mirror with affirmations. It's powerful. In the mirror with affirmations, you're beautiful. In the mirror with affirmations. You know what I mean? It's where you're constantly reminding yourself, whether you're doing something, I know we could be working, and you're constantly saying, you know what, I am good at this.
It's a bit like the label thing. So if somebody says, oh, you can't do that, or you're stupid, or whatever, you're playing in your head and you think, okay, I just can't do it. So rather than have that negative thing, you affirm something positive. Actually, I am capable of being stronger, or I'm not no longer a shy person. I can speak to people. That
Mike Tyson built his career off it. Custom Motto was a book.
Saying he was a god and he was a this, and he
started out just every day and every way I'm getting better and better. It just made him repeat that, and then it changed to boxing related affirmations.
So positive affirmations. That, like you say, Mike Tyson, he was constantly told that, and he was told to tell himself that.
I'll have to look into it.
Because then you've got if someone says you're shit, you've already got that. It's like you said, having that in your bank to say, no, I shit, boom, I'm good at this, I'm good at this, I'm good at it. Repeat it and repeat it. Because it's muscle memory.
Your thoughts will create your environment, which then creates your emotions, and that leads on to your happiness. So if you've got bad, negative thoughts about yourself, and then you're going to experience that day when you're dropping sausages everywhere, kind of thing. You know, you're having all this shit. Whereas if you can have just positive stuff, you see the beauty, you see the beautiful sky, you see the birds, you see the old lady crossing who nods at you and says,
when you do drop the sausage, you're going to laugh.
Exactly.
I'm going to have nightmares about this sausage.
My dog enjoyed it. My dog enjoyed it when I got back.
You know what? I read something before. Sorry, Kev. It was what you say, you think, what you think you feel, and how you feel is how you act. You know what I mean? So it's important to control your diet, and I'm not just talking your food, whether it's social media content, whether it's just your own diet within your head, you know what I mean, your thought process.
What you're saying about like affirmations, that's where a lot of hypnosis and meditation, it's all the same stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just getting yourself into that thing.
Yeah.
But you've got to find your medicine.
Yeah, look, if you, again, with yoga and stuff like that, somebody had asked me 5 years ago what I thought about yoga and alternative like medicine stuff, I'd have said it's for a bunch of hippies who dance on the field.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But now looking into it and speaking to people who do it and do a couple of different techniques, they do work. Yeah. It does really work.
You know the way I look at it. You know if you're in your house and you've got everything there, and you've got to just use everything that you've got around you, and then you come up with a problem, and there's nothing around you to solve that problem. Open your door, and you're going to find a different resource, and that's the way to look. Don't trap yourself in a room full of the resources you feel are all that you have. Open your door and you'll probably more than likely find another resource.
Yeah, I've never done none of the yoga or the alternative stuff.
I'm flexible enough for it.
But I do know a lot. One of our lads, he does something, Mark, he does some of the alternative stuff, and the benefits of it's brilliant, actually. It really is. It's just something of, again, that busy, you know, I keep thinking, oh, I'll go and try something like that. And just so I know to recommend it for other people, say this is my thoughts on it. But again, I'm not busy, I don't get round to doing anything like it. But what I read up on it, and the more stuff I look at it, it is good. And like dieting, it's good, clean diets without alcohol. Everyone loves a drink here, I'm sure they do. But it's cutting it down and it not
moderation. Yeah,
moderation in smoke. Like for me, bloody, I mean, Kev had a fag out there before we walked in.
Yeah.
And for me, that's my bit of a release, smoking at the moment, and I'm either up or down on it. I can not smoke all day, just smoke and have a drink.
Yeah.
Or at the moment, I'm smoking every day.
Yeah.
And it's just again a little bit stress going on and stuff like that. But it's everything in moderation and clean living. I can't say I've just had a chippy. But, you know what I mean? I dropped off of it. I had some salad on my kebab. So,
that was his attempt at clean living. Eat off, drop off.
Yeah, but it's like when you're eating healthy, you're drinking plenty of fluids.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. You feel better. You naturally do feel better. And when you're eating junk food and you're drinking, you've got the hangover, you wake up with the hangover or the coke over if you've been on the session. Yeah. I mean, the way to get rid of feeling like you're shit and when you've been on the session is go back on another session.
Yeah. Do you know what? As a little hint before we finish, you'll be amazed at how good you feel just drinking water.
Yeah.
I drink a lot of water. You know what I mean?
I'm guilty for not to.
See, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do any of that sort. I've got no release, but I drink water and you feel good.
But I always find like sometimes when you've come off the sauce, it's the thought of having a drink is better than actually having the drink. You go, call wait for Friday to have that beer, and then you have it. And you go, you throw it down because you're chasing how you want to feel. And I love a drink.
I've got flat beers.
I can't remember last time I went to a pub or afford it. But we have to finish, gang. Dan, from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much for coming on. And what's your organisation again?
It's Tough Enough to Care. If you go on to Facebook, just hit us up. If anyone's struggling, drop us a message. And again, if you're struggling, come down to the gym. There's another podcast. What is it, gents?
Find Your Voice.
Find Your Voice. I'll definitely be listening to it. So
get on it as well.
Yeah.
And have you got any sayings or quotes that got you through your dark days?
No, don't be a cunt.
And on that wonderful note, until next week, gang, ta-ra a bit.
I like that, man. That's back to that iron there. Yeah, don't be a cunt, mate.
Oh, fucking hell. I don't know if that's recorded. I had a WhatsApp because I haven't...
Listen.
And that's a wrap for another show. But if there are any comments or messages that you would like us to read out for our next podcast, please be in touch. There are also lots of different organisations at the bottom of this page, and hopefully they can help you or someone you care about. Please share this to spread the word. Until we talk next time, ta-ra a bit.
Listen.